Hi everyone, I'm Gladi Cologne.
And I'm Laura Hartman.
And you're watching Brand New Day on Be Well TV. Join us here every Thursday for a brand new episode. Hey Laura.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic and I'm so happy to be here. I can't wait to introduce our guest coming up soon.
I know, but first we are excited. This is a big milestone episode for us today. It is episode 10. We've done this 10 times. We have faced our fear 10 times and we've done this together.
And we're still going.
And it's always just so much fun.
They haven't kicked us off the network yet.
Yeah, they haven't kicked us off. And it's just, I don't know, I'm having a great time. So I hope the audience is enjoying our shows as well. And I feel like every time we, get off a show or the next day and it airs, it's always so exciting. And I love hearing the feedback. And I think my favorite quote that we've gotten so far is, I always want to, somebody said, I want to snuggle up with my cup of tea and a blanket and get on the couch and watch you. And that just warmed my heart.
That was so
and
sweet. I know.
I loved that. And it just made me feel like, oh, that's exactly what I hoped for with this. So
that is exactly the goal.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
So today's guest, before we introduce her, she's local to Orlando, local publisher. So today is all about writing, publishing, exactly what we do with H&F Redefined.
Right.
So I'm really excited to have her so we can speak to her magazine, and we'll get to that in just a second. But
exactly. Well, and it's exciting to have our guest today because our stories have kind of intertwined over the past several months in a unique way. And I'm excited to kind of get to that. But for us, I mean, like you said, H&F really started because we wanted to start this blog, which has kind of really become this like online media company at this point, and just our way of, kind of getting at that suppressed love of writing. And when we were both furloughed and laid off, it was our way of finding what's that other talent that we have.
Right.
And I think we both just forgot that we do love writing. We used to be really good at it when we were growing up. And, what's a different way that we can apply that? And so when H&F was born, it's just been so fun to like have this outlet.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's definitely an outlet, an opportunity for us to meet new people.
Yeah.
And write about those new people that we're meeting.
Such a great way, exactly what you said, to meet other people, learn about different businesses, find inspiration every time we interview people, but then also just write about the lifestyle content, which is something we need to do more of. We always say that, but we need to both do a little bit more of the lifestyle stuff. I feel like, especially now that we're back to work, there's a lot of stuff going on there that we need to get out. And on my Instagram page, on my Instagram account, I struggled forever with like, what's that tagline everyone talks about? What's it going to be? And how it's so important. You only have a couple seconds to pull them in. And finally I was like, you know what? I can't escape my inner monologue, so I write. Like, that's actually why.
It's perfect.
I'm in my head all the time, and it's at 10 o'clock at night or whatever it is. If I can just sit at my laptop and like get all that stuff out, I can go to sleep and I just feel better and I'm like less grumpy. And I think that's just, the beauty of writing.
That's the secret.
That's the secret. But, people don't realize that. And there's so many talented writers out there. And, we're trying our best to be able to, to do our best at it, but also feature other people.
Right.
But our guest today is so passionate and so talented at finding those kind of writers and finding those stories. And she created her own magazine.
Yeah.
So I think we should go ahead and introduce Miss Brenda Torres from South Orlando Lifestyle. She is the publisher behind this super cool, trendy, hyper-local new magazine here in focus on South Orlando. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you.
We're happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Thank you for, allowing me this opportunity. What a great platform. This is exciting. Just walking in the studios, guys, I'm telling you, it just felt like home. So thank you so much for that opportunity.
Of course. Well, like Laura was saying, we realized that we had some unique parallels between what we do and what you do. And actually, you two met first.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just, I think our story is just, it's such a perfect example of, number one, why we set out to really grow H&F, because you're a story in itself. You're an innovator of ours, which is what kind of helped me, I guess, find you. Was I saw this Instagram account and I thought, there's something here. This is new. I can tell it's new. I feel like they're just starting. Why? What's the story here? And I remember DMing you on Instagram, like, what's going on? What's the story here? I feel like there's something here. And then you told me, I think the next day we had a phone call.
Yes.
And we were initially speaking for like totally different reasons, but then all of a sudden within that conversation realized, number one, we kind of knew one another. We had been working in and around the same building for several years. Both had been laid off.
Yes.
Both had a love of writing.
Yes.
And all of a sudden we realized I can share content for you, but we've also got a story in you. And it was just kind of like this cool conversation that we came out of it. And I think I called you. I'm like, oh my God, guess what? I just talked to Brenda and this is what's happening. And I'm excited. And so
we found each other. I honestly feel that in that phone call, it was one of those epiphanies, like, oh my gosh, I found someone that I can help and she wants to help me. So it was one of those things that, and that's what we do. Powerful women that are innovative, that are looking for that content. And like you said, the story. Thank you for that introduction, because, sometimes I have, it's a challenge to try to figure out exactly how to describe what we do. And that's exactly it. We found each other so we could help each other.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
It really is the beauty. I hate when people get so focused on what's happened with the pandemic and how all the low points of COVID. There are so many beautiful silver linings to it. And that's what I know we all within our both of our platforms try to shine the light on, those stories and what those silver linings are. But we never would have met and connected in the way that we did. I would never be a contributing writer in a print magazine at this point. I would still be typing my BEOs. I mean, I'm still typing my BEOs now, but I wouldn't just be doing that. Or, all these other things that the pandemic allowed so many people to make connections. If you took the opportunity to, not everybody has, but if you took it as an opportunity to connect with people, take those risks, reach out to somebody and just say, I know you don't know me, but there's something interesting here. You just never know what's going to blossom out of that.
Could not agree more.
So you're a publisher now for South Orlando Lifestyle magazine, but you haven't always been doing this. So take us back to the start. How did you get to where you are now? How did you become a publisher here in Orlando?
So good story. I have been, first of all, I'm a South Orlando native. I've been here. You can say that when you're here for over 35 years, know.
Yes.
And I've always lived in this circle and just totally love my community. So let's start there. There is a huge passion for the community itself and seeing it grow into what it is. I mean, I remember dirt roads in this area. So I've always worked in a service factor. So everything from being in the military to actually working in the hospitality industry for the better part of the last 25 years, I always said that all of that encompassed being a storyteller. My positions always involved listening and being able to put together the information so that I could then provide a solution in a story, listening to, okay, what are the needs? And then providing a solution within that storytelling. Everybody calls it sales and marketing, right? I'm just letting you know, that's what my diploma says, but it really is storytelling. And so I always said that I'm a storyteller at heart. Worked for Fortune 500 companies. My very last employment was with Hilton. So I've worked with major companies in this area, and it's really what fuels that fire, that passion for listening and creating a solution for others. And while it may have been vocalized and very much controlled within the corporate environment, right? That was a very good segue for me to say, wait a second, I wrote instructional solutions. I did corporate training. I did solutions marketing. So why not put that into writing? And that's what triggered the thinking of perhaps the solution is print advertising. And that's what led me to what I'm doing today.
Wow.
Yes.
It's crazy how as anyone's career evolves, you kind of go into it thinking, oh, this is what I want to do, and I want to be this title or this job. And then you kind of get there, and then you start to realize, okay, there's all these other layers. You dabble in this or that, and you start to realize that, oh, I can take this experience and add it with this experience and this, and I can be all of these various different kind of things,
right.
That somehow end up turning into this new opportunity that you never really expected it to be.
Correct.
This, you know?
Correct. Yes.
So I feel like that's exactly what has kind of happened to you.
Yeah. No, and I agree. So I wasn't exactly sure if publishing was going to be that particular new avenue for me. What I did know was what I did not want, right? So I did not want to be under a very structured corporate environment again.
Yeah.
So that I knew. I knew that I did not want to not have control of the audience that I was helping and that I was doing contributions for. Okay. And I also knew that I did not want to not have control of the actual content either. So that, together with what Lifestyle Publications was offering for me to have, and I didn't want to print out of my garage either, by the way. Okay, so let's go ahead and make that known. I wanted to make sure that it was a viable business, that I could have an entire backbone, but yet the freedom to create the content and have a very specific audience that I could do it with, and that would be within my community. So while I didn't know what I did not want, I did not know exactly that that's what the publishing industry would provide for me. So I did my due diligence. As you can imagine, I looked at different avenues, and when Lifestyle Publications came as an option, working, with some professionals and kind of guiding me through the process, as well as an amazing mentor whom I love and have worked with in the past. And she knows who she is, and I thank her all the time. But working with her, we found a good mesh. It was a good combination of wait a second, publishing is it. Yeah. And so you're right. Not all the time do we know exactly, but just taking, you have to go for it. You have to go out there and really peel all the layers and see, wait a second, this together with this and my talent, this could be really a fun project and have fun at it, all at the same time. That gave me this win opportunity and built it into a business in less than a year.
I was just going to say, that's a definition of a win. I mean, you started a fun project, as you just said, and you've turned it into a business.
Yes.
Congratulations to you on your launch issue. That is amazing. And we have it here if you want to hold it up.
Yes.
Just hold it up right up there for the camera.
So this is the May issue, and I know that had been, because you've already moved on now to the future, but I know how hard you worked and how much dedication and level of perfectionism you put into this article, because I'm one of the writers in the article. So I was part of this process with you. Yes. And I've never had that kind of opportunity before. And thank you to you for even setting me up for City Lifestyle to start writing there, but to then be in a print magazine has just been such a cool opportunity. But being part of that process with you, I have learned so much as a writer, just how it works. I think it's one thing to get this magazine in the mail and you run home to your couch or grab your coffee and you look at it, but it's another to really have the appreciation and understanding for how this all comes together. I mean, picking the cover, the beautiful artwork, and it's just page after page of beautiful.
That I could easily make a decision on what's going to go on the cover of anything, let alone a launch issue. So how did you come about the cover idea? And you want to tell our audience a little bit of story behind it?
So thank you for asking about that. It is very much a personal story. I fell in love with Fabio Napoleoni, who is responsible for that beautiful cover. He is a local artist. and he lives in our South Orlando area. And I actually met him in Miami several years ago, and he was there at the very beginning of his artistry stage, and he was at a gallery signing off and, you know, not full at all. Again, he was beginning, but I instantly fell in love. He has a passion for hearts and art, and he put hearts in all of his paintings, and that really caught my eye, and I remembered. And when I saw him again, he's now a featured artist at Epcot at least twice a year.
Wow.
And also a featured artist at Pop Gallery, which has now gone virtual. But if you remember, Pop Gallery was in the corner of Disney Springs, and a lot of his paintings were displayed everywhere. I'll fast forward to say that I have gotten to know Fabio, and my father, he and I had a very special bond, and we used to enjoy Sunday afternoons together. Sunday afternoons for us meant everything from back in the day, Ponderosa, to...
She's going to make me cry because I know where this is going.
To Peachtree Valley Cafe and Dr. Phillips, and, you know, everything you can imagine that a father and daughter can enjoy together. And so before the actual issue, and we were thinking, I reached out to Fabio and I said, hey, listen, I want to use Sunday afternoons. I want to use one of your paintings, not Sunday afternoons. I want to use one of your paintings for our magazine cover because I love it so much, and it's launch and it's art and everything else. And he said, yes, no problem. Well, my father unfortunately fell ill and he passed in December. And he and I, you know, and every time that he and I would talk and we were getting closer to launch, he would say, hey, are we ready for cover? Are we ready for the cover? Are we ready for art? And finally it came to that day where I had to tell him, oh, Fabio, Daddy passed. And he said, Brenda, we don't have to think about it anymore. I will give you the full rights to Sunday afternoons painting that I had bought, that I own. Goodness. Now let me fast forward and tell you this a little bit more of a story, which you'll really enjoy.
The name of the painting,
Sunday Afternoons. So let me fast forward. Magazine is out, right? I started getting all these inbox messages to my Instagram, and I received one even from Australia. Now, the first couple of ones, they were local, and so I said, yeah, no problem, we'll get you a copy of the magazine. But then they started getting and going into message requests because they were not friends of mine.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they were in multiples, and I got one all the way out in Australia. Well, one from Sarasota, I answered to him back and said, hey, listen, you know, can't really send you one. However, we'll have the digital copy online. Here's the link. He texts me back and says, no, you don't understand. I'm like, no, I guess I don't understand. And he goes, the painting that is on your magazine is a sold out piece. And he only made 52, and 1952 is for the year his mother was born, which happens to be the same year my mother was born.
Oh my gosh.
So talk about,
it gets better and better.
So talk about going full circle. So I'm like, okay. He goes, no, it's sold out. So we are collectors. We are a worldwide collection collectors group, and we need a copy of that painting. It's a collectible item. So I reach out to Fabio and I go, Fabio, what have you done to me?
He goes, you didn't tell me.
He goes, no, I know. He goes, I know. I've gotten the same request too. So do you have spares? And I say, yeah, no problem. So he's had to actually autograph about 40 or 50 of our copies so he can send it out to collectors. So the one that you're holding right now, honey, is a collector's item.
Oh my God.
It's a collector's item. So, so talk about,
what an incredible story.
Right? Yeah. And the thing is that when we did it and he gave me the rights to it, which legally, you know, whenever you have a painting that goes out in galleries and they're being sold, so attorneys are involved and et cetera. So for us to be able to use it, he gave us that legal right. What a blessing, right? And not knowing that it would turn into that. So not only do we have a launch magazine, we have a collectible launch magazine cover, and we have the amazing artist that is local right to our area, South Orlando, who has blessed us with such a story, because there's another story within a story in the magazine as well. So yes, it's online, guys, and we'll tell them, you know, where to see it, and it'll stay there so you guys can read it for yourselves too.
How beautiful. Cool, and I'm sorry that your dad passed away, but may his memory live in this every time you look at that. How beautiful.
Yes.
How beautiful.
Nice tribute for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what keeps me going. You know, it is what it is. We've all gone through, you know, life changes and big ones, right? And losses, but you just have to I'm able to speak about it because I know it's just joy. Wherever he's at, he's listening, and he sees the joy of our project and passion and what we do. And so we can smile about it. But, you know, it's definitely, it's gone full circle for me.
That's
healing on top of that too.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Well,
so what I love about the magazine, and you touched on it earlier, is that, yes, it's exclusive to get the print copy, but I do love that there is that link, the digital option.
Yes.
Because then it really does allow anybody to read the content or, you know, experience what's in there. But there is just something about being able to have that print magazine in front of you. And collect them. I mean, I can picture this just beautifully being on my coffee table, and I can only imagine what the next one looks like. They're really lovely, just beautifully done.
Thank you.
So it's something that you don't mind it to be kind of scattered around your house.
Right, right. And that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be more of a coffee table book, and it'll keep growing, you know?
Right.
But it's all hyperlocal, community inspired, and inspiring the community. So that's what we want it to be. We want it to be that coffee table book.
Well, and that's, okay, so one phrase that I've heard you both now use, you said hyper focus.
Hyperlocal.
You said hyperlocal. Yeah. So I feel like that's becoming more and more of a thing, and it's trending. Can we speak to that a little bit, and you maybe explain why hyperlocal focused magazines are becoming more of a trend?
Yes, I am so excited that you mentioned that. So COVID has done a thing, and even
it's done a thing.
Right,
it's done a thing.
A thing. Lightly, we've just sugarcoated that. But with that said, if anybody asks me, COVID has been a blessing in my life,
right?
And it's all on how you look at things, right? And so using the lifestyle, and to answer your question, the lifestyle platform, they've really embraced the fact that COVID has changed people. In fact, Tony Powers on Adweek very recently released an article, and she's the director of marketing for Canon Solutions, print, right? And in this article, it talks about how people just got tired of non-experiential and just being at home and having touch and feel and needing a connection. And so going further and further to print. So print magazine now being, or any print medium being embraced again. In fact, 41% of Americans are saying, based on a Gallup survey recently, that they're now looking forward to go to the mail and get something that they can read, right? Something that they're just tired of staring at a monitor, and whether it's a Zoom meeting or whether it's just extra TV or Netflix, whatever that may be, and they just want an experience. And so what we have done really well is put the two together. Our audience, which is why we go to the hyperlocal, our audience, we handpick. So not only are we selecting our communities, we're also selecting the homes that we want to receive the magazines, which are based on statistics, are typically the homeowners that are the most collaborative, as well as involved in the communities. And those are homes that are typically valued at $600,000 and above, in particular for our area. So we hand select those homes, and we work with the tax offices to look at homesteaded addresses. So really important. We really listen. And when we say hyperlocal, is because we're continuously listening to feedback and looking at the interaction of the articles that we have, not just in print, but also duplicate them and replicate them online. So we meet both components, so much so that our particular audience, they look at over 30% that they are looking at online media, plus 37% of print. We take the two together. We have a huge audience that is paying attention to what we're doing.
Right.
And the reason for that is, you know, and some of the things that I just love what Tanya, I couldn't have said it best. Some of the things she talks about is that cohesive experience. You know, COVID totally threw at us a fast forward pass, a fast pass of working with QR. Even even grandma knows how to work a QR code. And all of the platforms, you know, mobile units, they have now the technology seamless that all the cameras are now reading QR codes. So what we're doing on Lifestyle is that we're looking at that. And so we're creating the magazines now, and you'll see that evolve into more and more of that content where less writing, more action. So we'll have bullets in the magazine, and that's what people want. And then we'll have QR codes embedded in the magazine that will lead them then to a national content directly to our city lifestyle, so they don't have to go type. And it's such a seamless, beautiful experience, both on their mobile devices as well as online, that they're able to then expand on the content if they liked it. You know, so it gives us an opportunity to go and print more variety, because we only write a little bit about certain things, and we can put more content in there. And then whoever wants to get more on a particular topic, they can QR and immediately go and takes them to City Lifestyle. And then it ties them to a very high read national article, so national content will be embedded there. Now, guys, listen, I'm giving you
the how excited she gets about it. Just I can listen to her all day.
Because I'll let you in on this. Ms. Laura right here, so she's writing content that will now become national for us. So this will happen. We have over 150 publications nationwide. People will go ahead and do the QR code, and it will take them to a national content of a highly rated article that she writes for South Orlando that will go national. So it now syndicates the content. So why is that great? Because it meets exactly what people are looking for, that cohesive experience, as well as make the experience personal. People want that experience to be personal. They don't want to be behind a monitor anymore. They want content that relates to them, and they get to pick and choose. If you remember the old magazines where they would have these surveys and say, if you like this, go this way. So we're kind of replicating that same content. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like, okay, if you like big eyebrows, go this way. If you like smaller eyebrows, go this way. If you like pink, you remember that? Yes. Especially on Teen Vogue. And then it would say, well, you are a fashionista, right? Yes. So we're kind of doing the same thing, because
that's
people
a really great way to explain
that. We're looking at the content that people want to read, and they get to pick and choose, although they're within the same magazine. So we're meeting that need, personalized content. We also get to break through the noise. On average, when we were out and about pre-COVID, people, they get exposed to over 5,000 online media or social media. Well, a magazine gives people peace. It slows them down. It gives them pace.
You mean 5,000 like pop-up advertisements
daily.
And things like that? Daily. I believe that number.
Daily.
But people become like, now we're used to ignoring them. Right? So actually, I would see that the advertisers in a magazine would benefit more.
Absolutely. Because
it's
people
there.
Yes. So that's really where they're getting the most of their advertising. The return on investment is so much better on print, because people are now paying attention.
And you're staring at it, you're taking the imagery in, you're kind of dissecting, like, how do I really feel about this ad? It either catches your eye or it doesn't. But if it catches your eye, now you're really kind of like, look at that. You can really kind of like go down the rabbit hole of discovering what the ad is intended to do.
Which is why for lifestyle publications, 2020 was our biggest growth year, where we expanded into the most areas. I purchased my franchise in September, and you already know, the personal hardships I had to get through. And I made my vision big enough that parallel to lifestyle publications, I wanted to move forward and grow no matter what. But because of what people are wanting, that personal connection, that cohesive experience, it's what's allowed us to grow as a print media company nationwide. And it has allowed the city lifestyle component to just be a support material, which still meets a huge need. Google came to us, guys, and it's now being powered by Google, where now they're indexing over 4 million pages. And I'm giving you numbers of December. God knows what it is now, because we continue to replicate every single article as a separate index page on a monthly basis, times 100 plus markets that I already named. So we need both.
Yeah.
We meet both. So
I love
you can see how excited I get about.
And you're excited, and we love your vision.
Yes.
And we want to know how big your vision actually is. I mean, can you speak to where the future of your publication is going? I know you've got a men's issue. Am I allowed to say that? And your next issue?
Yeah, so June issue is coming out very soon.
You can say it.
Okay. Yeah.
We already finished it. So what we do really, really good, it's that we have themes in every month. It keeps it interesting, and it gives us new material. And the next one is Gentleman's Issue, our June issue. And Ms. Laura has 2 articles in that one. And one of them includes 3 recipes, which we're really excited about. 2
of our H&F innovators.
Yes.
So, and also the Launch magazine has a story that we partnered with the Florida Comeback, so another innovator. So before you continue, because I want you to continue, thank you for acknowledging our work and seeing those stories and kind of getting behind the work that we're doing and saying, you know what, there is something really special there with these people that they're writing about, and helping us elevate those stories onto your beautiful platform. I just know all of them so far that have had that opportunity are just beyond blessed and excited, and we appreciate you doing that.
It makes for good reading, good content. Like I said, we found each other. So if it's good content, of course, I'm going to pay attention, and I want more of it. You know, in June, like I said, we have 2. And we have a really, just to kind of give you a little bit of what's happening in June, we have a really great story that it's a nationwide story, big TikTok story.
Oh, wow.
Where a young man, actually he could be my son. He was born the month before mine, and young man who was working for a national paint company. He was fired because he was creating marketing on his own out of the box. He thought I could really reach out to the millennial crowd. Everybody can paint. Everybody will paint at some point or another. And he was terminated for going outside the box and recording some TikTok videos. Wow. I'll just leave that there. Let's fast forward, and someone here in Florida, in Central Florida, saw the vision. And not only did they offer him a position right here in South Orlando, they gave him his own store, painting store. They built him a studio for recording more TikToks and heavily involved them in all their marketing campaigns. And on top of that, they created their own line. It's Florida Paints. They created their own line for Tony, Toaster Paints. So, this is the type of content that we get excited about. When somebody appreciates and embraces people thinking outside the box and reinventing themselves, instead of saying, oh, we're too corporate, you're not doing that. So that's one of the stories that are coming up in June. And we have many others. We got the exclusive for Disney fairy tale wedding dresses.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's coming up. That will be in our August issue. Sorry, our September issue. So we have some other things that are
lots happening.
That are happening.
You've got your official launch party is coming up soon in June. So we're excited. And so that's going to be fun.
A lot to look forward to.
So we're running out of time. We're over time, but we could just continue to talk and talk and talk. I am sure that our audience has enjoyed listening to you as much as we have. So please take some time to check out our website and find Brenda's full interview and story. And she goes further into detail in our interview with her there, kind of that behind the scenes journey on how she really got that magazine, how she got South Orlando Lifestyle up and running, in more detail, again, what's more to come. And then we also published a pro tip article on her as well with 6 pieces of business advice that, as you can, I'm sure, tell from listening to her today, they're good. We were going to dive into them all today, but we just ran out of time. So please check out that article. And Brenda, thank you so much for being here. We can't wait to see the magazine grow.
Pleasure is all mine. The only thing that I'll share is find us at citylifestyle.com/South Orlando. citylifestyle.com/South Orlando. That's where you can find me and see the magazines in digital copy as well as their stories.
Yes, absolutely. And together we will continue to write the stories of people having a brand new day.
Thanks for watching.